All right, well, good afternoon. We're so glad that you could join us today. Hopefully you had the chance to introduce yourself and add to the discussion in the chat. If you've not yet done so, please do use the chat box right now to introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, what organization or school you're with. And again, we're so happy you could join us. So my name is Hope Gribble. I'm the Education and Green Schools Manager for the U.S. Green Building Council, Missouri Gateway Chapter. And I'm joined today by Leslie Moylan, Executive Director of the Missouri Environmental Education Association, Tracy Janssen, first grade teacher at Kaiser Elementary, and Aaron Graves, science teacher at Herculaneum High School. Additionally, Hannah Carter, who is chair of the Missouri Green Schools Committee and sustainability coordinator for Parkway School District, is with us and will be answering your questions via the chat box throughout the presentation. Our focus today is going to be on introducing several different green schools related programs available to schools in Missouri, highlighting both their unique attributes as well as their common ground and underscoring the benefits of participating in multiple programs simultaneously for greater impact. You will have the opportunity to hear from two different schools on their success stories with the programs. And really, we have a lot to cover in a little time. So we do ask that any and all questions be entered directly into the chat box. Each of you will also receive a follow-up email with resources and presenter contact info. Just as a matter of housekeeping, there's also a reminder to please keep yourself muted throughout the presentation today. Thank you. So the term green schools appears in the title of all three of the programs that we're going to discuss. So we're going to begin by defining what's meant by this term. These three areas or pillars are emerging as a common definition for green schools, which is being used throughout the US and abroad. Green schools strive to reduce environmental impacts and costs, to improve the health and wellness of students and staff, and to provide effective place-based education, leading to increased sustainability literacy. Many different elements fall under each of these pillars. For example, environmental impact includes energy and water conservation, waste diversion, grounds and transportation. Health and wellness includes indoor air quality, fitness and outdoor time, healthy food and nutrition, as well as physical, social, and emotional health services. And sustainability literacy includes environmental literacy, outdoor education, professional development, and community and civic engagement. These outcomes are achieved by implementing practices throughout the school's campus, which includes the school facility, surrounding natural environment, and the resources that flow through the school, such as energy, water, paper, and food. The curriculum, connecting people, place, and purpose through educational programmings, both during the school day as well as extracurricular activities. And the school culture and community, the shared values, social norms, and practices within the school, and their connection to the community members and businesses at large. Each of these pillars and facets are interconnected. Working in one area influences the others. For instance, we know that when our school buildings have clean air, our students do better in the classroom. We know that when families have clean, safe places to be active, they have more opportunities to maintain a healthy weight. And we know that when we work together to take care of our spaces, we nurture community connections that contribute to our mental health. In addition to environmental and health benefits, many schools have found cost savings as a result of making small and big green changes. This common definition of advancing practices through the school campus, curriculum, and culture that reduce environmental impact, improve health and wellness, and provide place-based education are at the heart of all three of the programs we'll discuss. So let's dig in, beginning with the Green Schools Quest. The Green Schools Quest is an annual project-based challenge issued by the U.S. Green Building Council, Missouri Gateway Chapter, to pre-K through 12 schools to implement a no or low-cost sustainability project over the course of 6 months with the help of a community volunteer who serves as a green mentor. There is no limit to the number of times a school participates. With each participation, school teams simply need to focus on advancing a new initiative. To begin, each participating school forms a team of students to engage. This team may be a student club, classroom, grade level, or the entire school. Each team has one adult sponsor, often a teacher, who serves as organizer of the participating students and primary contact for the mentor. Just 1 minute, please. Pardon me. All right. Each team is then provided with a community volunteer who serves as their green mentor. Projects are intended to be student-driven, though the mentor is there to assist as needed with project ideas, implementation, and resources. Teams then engage in their no or low-cost project of their choosing, really based upon their unique needs and interests. And projects are varied and really widely open-ended. In fact, as you can see here, we have a variety of resources that are provided, such as 101 ways to green your school. We also have an outline of evaluation criteria and list of community resources that may be helpful. During the course of their project, teams document their work and submit their outcomes for a chance to win. Winners are then presented with a cash award and/or trophy. And all participating schools receive a Green Schools Quest participant decal to proudly display. This year, a hybrid program format will be offered. Schools may choose to engage in the format that works best for them. The traditional format consists of one comprehensive 6-month-long project. Teams turn in a 5-minute digital presentation and written report, documenting their process and impact at the conclusion. These are reviewed by a panel of judges, and winners are determined in elementary, middle, and high school divisions. And those winners receive trophies and cash prizes. The second option follows an adapted format that was introduced last year in response to the pandemic and was quite popular, so we've kept it around. And it takes place as themed monthly sustainability challenges. At the end of each month, participants submit a short description of their work and a photo, and then cash prize winners are drawn at random from all of the submissions received. Here is a snapshot of the timeline. Registration is now open and closes September 15th for schools. We are still accepting mentor registrants as well. Even though the deadline has passed, we are extending that really to the same as schools, September 15th. So if you're on the call and interested in mentoring, please do consider that opportunity. Teams that engage in their projects from October through March, and winners are announced in April. So before we move on to our next program, I'm going to share with you a video compilation with clips from past school submissions so that you may hear directly from some of the students about the projects that they've engaged in. These are 6 different school projects.
everybody, welcome to Frank P. Tillman Elementary School, home of the Trailblazers. We are located in Kirkwood, Missouri, and currently house a little more than 500 students. Over the past 7 years, our school has been working hard to add on to our backyard. And let me tell you, there's a lot of unused space back there. Anyways, the Green School's Quest has given us an opportunity to make one of our backyard dreams come true. We are extremely lucky to be paired with an amazing mentor architect named Mr. John McKee. He helped us get our ideas organized and built. Before we talk about our final project, we want to tell you how it worked.
In October, we formed a Sustainability Kids group that was made up of kindergartners through 5th graders. We met during several lunch periods to brainstorm and research different ideas. In December, we reached the point where we had many cool ideas that we needed to narrow it down so that we could get something submitted.
After receiving the feedback, we met with Mr. McKee several times to make a final plan. We researched different materials and plants that could go into our sensory pathway, and finally, at the end of February, we built it.
So Forsyth consumed about 3.25 million gallons of water last year, and the water getting to Forsyth has to be cleaned out by a plant, like a water treatment plant on the banks of the Missouri River, and that was Howard Bed Water Treatment.
Houses with irrigation in them, they have a much higher water usage because the irrigation takes up the most water, and that's like the top way we conserve water.
So one of our field trips was to the MSV water treatment plant, which is basically where our yucky water, after we're done using it, goes to be filtered and then it is put back out into the Mississippi River.
Yo, MRH, let's kick it. Rain, garden. Rain, garden. Alright, stop. Collaborate and listen. MRH is back with a brand new edition. The water cycle grabs a hold of me tightly, flows daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn on the sun and I'll grow. To the extreme, I grow like a vandal and I light up the sky more than a candle. Dance for a flower that blooms. I'm saving the streams like a rain garden should do. Lively like a rain garden should be. Not helping the earth shall be a felony. Love it or leave it, you better rain away. Better keep your ears here, you know I don't play. If there's a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Rain garden.
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. So this is Go Green Club. Have you ever wondered why your room is so hot? Or why your room is so cold? Well, we did too. So we looked into our energy usage. First, we went around the school and measured the square footage of the building. Then we had to get the energy data for the school. The electric bills, however, still show a lot of use in the summer, when no one is at school.
What we're doing is the Green School's Quest. What we do is we make a scavenger hunt, and then with sustainable stuff on it. And that sustainable stuff people have to find. And the reason we are doing this is to help people recognize the sustainable things on the earth. So we're hoping to change the community, if not the world, if not everyone.
Telling you why we need to tell our peers and our elders how our community is sustainable. We have all of small businesses that we need to support.
We are talking about sustainability because we want people to know about it, and because we want people to make the world a better place.
Oh, amazing. The creativity, the variety, it's the impact that happens every school year. It's amazing how much progress the students and their teams make. Incredible. So now we're going to transition from looking at this project-based challenge to taking a more holistic look at school sustainability and how we can really advance, take a systems approach to advancing school sustainability. And for this next section, I'm super excited to introduce My partner and colleague, Leslie Moylan, Executive Director of MIA and co-administrator of the program. Leslie, I'll pull that.
Great. Thank you, Hope. I love watching that video. I've seen it before and I love it every time. I get super jazzed by hearing from kids and seeing just how they're so right on. And I'm really excited too, because I got my start with all of this as a Green Schools Quest mentor. And now, lo and behold, I find myself at MIA and working with Hope. And we like to call the Quest Missouri Green Schools' older sister. So thank you, Hope. Let me figure out for our video here. Okay. All right. So Missouri Green Schools is a joint program of the Missouri Environmental Education Association and the U.S. Green Building Council Missouri Gateway Chapter, with support from those 5 other organizations you see at the bottom. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without those folks, but primarily it is the 2 at the top that run the program. And Missouri Green Schools is a tracking and recognition program for pre-K through 12 schools that is holistic in nature. And Hope already went over that a little bit. And we'll go over it in just a sec. It also offers recognition for reaching emerging, progressing, and advanced levels of achievement. Really, the sprout and the seedling levels are all about getting a school set up for that long-term success, and sapling and flowering dogwood is when they're really starting to demonstrate measurable change. Next slide. And oh, I forgot to say, we are in our pilot year this school year. So please consider joining us on this journey. And we're seeking schools to participate right now. And as Hope mentioned earlier, just like the Quest, Missouri Green Schools takes a systems-based approach too. And we work on that outer ring in terms of changing the systems, the campus, the culture, and the curriculum. And we encourage working within those 3 inner ring, the health and wellness, the environmental impact, and the educational programming, those areas to achieve what we call whole school sustainability. This is an annual program, unlike the project-based Quest, and it's oriented towards ongoing expansion and improvement. And it's ideally driven by a diverse group of stakeholders within a school. So the Quest is somewhat student driven, and this is, there's more variables there. To kick things off, all a school needs is a staff member to take the lead. And this could be anyone who works in the school, a teacher, a principal, a custodian. This is a really great opportunity to engage staff that have interests in health and wellness, the environment, or administration. Once you have one staff member who will take the lead, they'll fill out an enrollment form and get a commitment letter signed by their school administrator. Then a green team is created, and this is really key to that systems approach that we've been talking about. And participants begin to establish baselines, set goals, and work towards them and track their progress along the way. And we've learned from some research that to catalyze long-term change towards sustainability and reach that whole school sustainability ideal that we're talking about, it's important to gauge people on your green team from a few different perspectives. One, you need someone who has this holistic view of the school. Somebody like an administrator or who works in the main office is a great person. Someone who works directly with kids daily, like a teacher. And someone who is in a stewardship or caretaking role at the school. So that could be a custodian, dining services person, somebody who thinks about the place and helps care for the place. So big picture, helping kids and helping the place is what we like to think about. And 3 to 5 people is ideal for your team, and monthly meetings should be encouraged for this group. And we have a ton of resources on the Missouri Green Schools websites to help with green team recruitment. So definitely check those out if you're interested. And once a team is set up, they'll work together to take a baseline self-assessment, which will help them identify goals that will make a difference for the health of their school environment, the staff, and the students. Once you've done that, then the MGS team will help you set up and access a new digital START tool profile. START is where we collect information and track its progress. It stands for the Sustainability Tracking and Roadmap Tool, and it's the primary tool that schools will use to track their ongoing achievements. This platform includes yes or no questions along roughly 50 metrics that can be used for self-assessment, and those metrics are organized under that campus culture and curriculum. So you can kind of make sure that you're balancing out your efforts. And then the metrics, then you can document photos, you can add documents, you can basically use the START tool as a repository for collecting information about your green schools related activities and achievements. It's all housed in one place, so it's a great tool for the team to communicate with one another and keep everybody on the same page. Missouri Green Schools is a continuous loop of tracking, planning, and implementation. At the end of each school year, schools can submit a prompt for review and are then recognized at the level aligned with their achievements. Now, schools that have 60% or more students that are eligible for free and reduced lunch also are eligible for extra support from us. Stacy Parker is one of our AmeriCorvises, and she's on the call today. We're really happy that they're on our team, and really key for offering that one-on-one support to schools that meet that threshold. And what you'll gain is access to a lot of one-on-one support to set up your green team. Wherever you're at, we will help you in any way we can to make sure that you move forward, knowing that maybe your time is even tighter than most schools. So, and we also have some financial support for professional development to attend a couple of conferences that are in our Green Schools ecosystem here in Missouri. So that's another piece of support for those schools. And then finally, this program, Missouri Green Schools, in addition to beginning its phase as a state level recognition program, we have been the conduit for a national recognition program called the U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Schools Award since 2016. This Green Ribbon Schools program recognizes schools across the country that have demonstrated excellence across all three of the pillars that we mentioned earlier. Each state's Department of Education is able to nominate 5 schools per year to be considered for this prestigious award. And we have been working with DESE since 2016 on this. Applications for the 2022 recognition will be due in January. So if your school is interested and you think you might be already operating at that high level in terms of the campus culture and curriculum, and you're really making big strides, please reach out to us as soon as possible, because we would love to help you begin that process. So just to reiterate, Missouri Green Schools is a standalone state recognition program now, as well as this conduit for a federal award. And one of the beauties of Missouri Green Schools is that we can recognize lots of schools at many different levels of achievement, whereas the national award is really for schools that have been working on this for a long time and have made a lot of demonstrable gains. So both are great. We're just excited to tell the story of many, many more schools doing things like projects that you see in the quest, but on an ongoing basis. So, and with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Hope, who I think is going to talk a little bit about how these all work together.
Yeah, thanks so much, Leslie. All right, so how do these work together? Leslie mentioned the Green Schools ecosystem in Missouri, and that's kind of our something we call this graphic here. Essentially, this graphic is intended to show how the 3 programs interact with and support one another. So I'm going to walk everyone through this really quickly. All three programs are grounded in the same three pillars, that we use to define what a green school is. And all three include opportunities for recognition. The Green Schools Quest is focused on project implementation through student-driven initiatives. So it takes a project-based approach and very action-oriented over 6 months. Missouri Green Schools takes a systems-based approach. It helps schools to track and assess where they're at along the sustainability continuum, to easily view and document their accomplishments, and to plan to advance their efforts. It also engages that wider group of stakeholders and roles within the school so that it's, you're seeing holistic change throughout the school. Both of these programs go hand in hand. Either can be an entry point to the other, and schools can participate in both simultaneously. For instance, a school might begin building momentum through one or more Green Schools Quest student action projects, leading to elevated awareness and excitement around going green, which can then be channeled into enrollment in the Missouri Green Schools program, where the school can venture towards that more holistic integration of sustainability practices throughout the campus curriculum and culture. Or a school might begin with enrollment in Missouri Green Schools and then use the criteria established for the different levels of recognition as goals for the Green Schools Quest projects. These could include establishing a green team, engaging students and taking a baseline self-assessment of the school's efforts, or using the program's roughly 50 metrics that we've discussed within that START tool as jumping off points for generating project ideas. So any action that is to be taken within your Missouri Green Schools efforts can just be turned into a Green Schools Quest project, and you just knock it out in those 6 months. All right. So in Missouri, as Leslie just mentioned, Missouri Green Schools is the conduit for U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon Schools nomination. And Green Ribbon Schools offers just a one-time national level recognition of comprehensive achievements across all three of the pillars. Schools interested in this award should again just enroll in Missouri Green Schools and communicate to us that you're interested in pursuing this, and we can help walk you through how to begin documenting your efforts and prepare your nomination materials. All right, on an ongoing basis within any of these programs in any years, schools are encouraged to continually advance their practices through annual participation in Green Schools Quest and or Missouri Green Schools. Hopefully, and we'd love to have you enrolled in all of them. And schools are invited to participate in professional development opportunities pictured here along the bottom, which provide support to teachers and administrators. And those are offered in the summer and the fall. So what's in it for me? Let's take a quick look at some of the benefits of participation. Benefits of Green Schools are far-reaching and multifaceted. All three of the programs offer opportunities for recognition. Participation can also open the door to funding opportunities and additional recognitions from other programs that focus on singular elements, such as energy conservation or environmental literacy. There are, we always encourage layering on multiple other programs and opportunities for even more recognition. And we can point you to additional programs that do focus on those singular elements as well. After personnel costs, energy use is the single biggest operating cost for schools. Conserving resources goes hand in hand with saving money. Parkway School District in St. Louis County began tracking energy and water usage in 2010. And since that time, they have been able to reduce their energy consumption by 36% with an annual savings of nearly $1.5 million. The Kirkwood Early Childhood Center, also in St. Louis County, instituted a composting program for their cafeteria and saw a savings of $17,000 within the first year when they stopped buying styrofoam. So lots of opportunities for conservation, essentially. We know that healthy students are better learners. The health of our surroundings and environment has a direct connection to our personal health and wellness. Green schools not only support the health of students, staff, and environments, they foster increased civic engagement and student empowerment, taking a systems approach to real-world problem solving, gains in academic achievement and engagement, increased teacher satisfaction, and so much more. We mentioned before the professional development opportunities. Again, these are the Sustainability Institute for Educators, held in St. Louis each summer, and MIA's annual conference, which is held in the fall and travels to a different host city throughout the state of Missouri each year. All right. Well, now we have the opportunity to hear directly from two schools who have found success with all three programs. So first, I'm excited to introduce Tracy Janssen, first grade teacher at Kaiser Elementary in the Kirkwood School District. Tracy has been championing sustainability within her school and district for many years. She is the current chair of the Green Schools Quest Committee and also a member of the Missouri Green Schools Committee, both of which the committees, both which provide behind the scenes planning and support for their respective programs. All right, Tracy.
Thank you for the introduction, and I apologize for my camera not being on. I am in transit for another experience with my family this evening. But I want to start off and introduce my school to you. I am a first grade teacher at Kaiser Elementary. I'm beginning my 10th year with this amazing school. And if you press play, you can see a drone footage of our campus, starting at the front and moving all the way to the back. So Kaiser is situated in Kirkwood, Missouri, which is a suburban part of the St. Louis County region. As a elementary school, we serve nearly 570 students from kindergarten through 5th grade. At any given day, we have 60 to 68 staff members with us. That includes our administrators, our teachers, our support staff, and special school district. We maintain about a 1-to-20 class ratio, meaning 1 for the solid general education teacher and roughly 20 students between the grade levels. We also service 14% of our minority students within the community. In the next slide, I'm going to go and share with you a little bit about our story of how we went from a Green Schools Quest participant to becoming a United States Green Ribbon School. So our journey in becoming a Green Schools Quest, our journey becoming a green school began in 2012 with participation in the annual Green Schools Quest project, and we have continued participation for every year thereafter. Our projects have included waste management and composting, reduced water consumption, and harvesting of water for our grounds that you saw in the back with Project Idea. We also initiated a garden to plate food service program in partnership with Chartwells. We have decreased our energy consumption and participate in Energy Star benchmarking with our utilities across every month. And we also provide for outdoor education and exploration upon our campus. So the reason I wanted to share the drone footage with you is because Kaiser is completely landlocked. We are less than a 2-acre campus and less than 1-acre green space. And we have maximized everything indoors and outdoors for that space to provide for outdoor education and exploration opportunities for our community. So I'd like to explain a little bit more about our Quest pursuit and then how we moved into becoming a Missouri Green School. So considering the waste management and composting program that was our initial project for the Quest in 2012, we provided for teacher and community-led and supported projects for students to learn and practice how to sort their waste into compost, landfill, and recycling systems, while also practicing and encouraging reusable containers for food and drink. Compost was also started to be collected on site in our garden spaces with snack waste and yard waste that was collected across the year. Our partnerships with St. Louis Cardinals, as well as the Archdiocese for the Caps to Bench program, enabled for a redirection of plastic waste and the creation of our amazing, beautiful mural upon our campus, as well as 4 garden benches on site. We also partnered with St. Louis County Department of Health grant for composting collection bins and tumblers on site so that every classroom has a composting collection tumbler for collecting snack waste that then we can either compost within our compost bins that are collected by St. Louis Composting or contributed to our composting tumblers outside in our garden space. For our reduction in water consumption as well as harvesting, through the quest, we provided for installation of 4 water refill stations inside Kaiser and 2 rain barrels outside in our project idea space. The funding for our rain barrels was provided actually through the USGBC Missouri Gateway Chapter Award from the previous school year. So as Hope had earlier identified, when you have been recognized in awards and the monetary contribution that's been provided, you can apply that to your next year project, which makes a really great funding opportunity that's sustainable for your community. Looking to the Garden to Plate food service inclusion, which was another year project, we provided for provided for a continued partnership with Chartwell's Food Service to plant, grow, and harvest our own Kaiser produce from 2 garden to plate beds within our garden labs and from 3 of our tower gardens on site, provided through Juice Plus fundraising, and those are located within our office and cafeteria, and they are cared for by Kaiser students and staff. The funding for the tower gardens was provided through our Kaiser parent-teacher organization. Looking to the decreased energy consumption and our Energy Star benchmarking, that actually Quest project came to be in feedback for our Missouri Green Schools journey, which I'll lead into in just a moment. Within our Quest project and also simultaneous in pursuing the recognition of becoming a Missouri Green School, students presented lessons and media shared for education to Kaiser staff and students regarding reduced energy and consumption practices to include use of daylighting, unplugging of devices, and use of microwaves, refrigeration, and etc. in personal classroom spaces. Our students educated our classroom teachers on the importance of closing doors while in learning spaces, while also noting the utility consumption used by Energy Star benchmarking tool through support of our district financial office. So we were able to work in conjunction with our CFO for Kirkwood School District and gather our utility data to then provide for the benchmarking and reduction practices upon our campus. Media presentations were created by our children and shared through televised morning announcements and screen presentations during their lunch times each and every day across that school year and have since still been used. And lastly, looking to our outdoor education and exploration. Our outdoor campus is referred to as Project IDEA, with IDEA representing the acronym for Imagination, Discovery, Exploration, and Adventure. And Project IDEA is an amazing place as it is our learning classroom for play, as well as hands-on exploration by providing a monarch way station, a national wildlife habitat, and a grow native world plantings in all 5 of our rain gardens upon campus. Active Project IDEA parents, staff, and student committees facilitate our work days across our entire school year, as well as projects and creations upon our ever-changing campus based upon each annual class's ideas for development. So Project IDEA is a living, breathing classroom that changes each year based upon our children's dreams and desires for their community, as well as the world around them. So upon all of these quests that we have participated within, Hope has been an amazing resource for us and really suggested, hey, why don't you guys start thinking about becoming a Missouri Green School? What would that entail was our next question. And so in collaboration with our building administration, as well as our team of staff and amazing community parents, we began the pursuit of becoming a Missouri Green School. We started looking analytically to what our practices were, what was working well, what was being repeated successfully, and then what can we learn to grow from. We applied to become a Missouri Green School and were selected in 2017. We realized that we were not able to be selected as a U.S. Department of Education Green Ribbon School at that time, and this was back in 2017, because we weren't accurately noting what our energy consumption was, and we really weren't looking holistically at our project idea space through the educational lens as we needed to. So we started refining our space and really thinking about what was the educational links that we could provide for every classroom within every grade level to have an active part in this space. And so really taking a look as a team at our practices, refining them, educating them, and then continuing to share them led us into 2018 becoming a United States Department of Education Green Ribbon School. And that honor and our entire journey since 2012 has really brought about our sister schools in our school district becoming a part of the entire green effort in our community. So I wanted to share that because though you may be one school in your district or one teacher who is passionate, what you begin and what you adopt and bring into practice and play during your school year will be really favored and looked upon by your peer schools and your entire school district. So if you're concerned or worried about the support or the impact that you will make, one little step is definitely going to make the difference. And that's what happened to us in 2012 that brought us to where we are today in 2021, where we have bees on site, an active community, and a place that our children truly love to be each and every day, learning and playing and exploring both indoors and outdoors. And I really thank the USGBC for making that possible, as well as an amazing community.
Thanks so much, Tracy, for sharing that story, which, you know, it's such a rich story, so full of, you know, a lot of moving pieces and a lot of student engagement. And thanks for pointing out, you know, so much progress had been made, and then it was time to look at the Green Ribbon Schools application, and you know, what are some of the criteria here which fold into Missouri Green Schools criteria, and benchmarking is one of the big ones. And so it's nice that you were able to move that forward and to engage really first graders in the process as well. And when we looked at that video compilation earlier, that the Collegiate School of Medicine and Bioscience, there towards the end, they were sharing Energy Star benchmarking that the students have worked on there. Now that's at the high school level. Project Idea, I know Mia has a fabulous online curriculum resource as well. I know Tracy talked a lot about engaging the students in the outdoors, trying to fold that into the curriculum at every level. Just a shout out and encouragement to check out Mia's online curriculum database there to see how your school might make those connections as well. And now we're gonna move on and turn things over to Erin Graves. Erin is science teacher and NHS faculty advisor at Herculaneum High School. She's also a member of the Green Schools Committee, and she sits on the MIA Board of Directors. So thank you, Erin, and you're welcome to take it away. You're muted. I'll ask to unmute here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited. There's so many people that joined. Like Tracy, I'm a teacher. I work at Herculaneum High School. I'm a science teacher. So here's kind of my presentation from apathy to action. I'm proud to say that our school, we did complete the Green School Quest first, and then we went on to become a Missouri Green Ribbon School in 2019. So I'd really like to share my journey because I think maybe there's some of you that can really relate to some of this. So we'll kind of explain. Well, oh, there we go. Sorry. Nope, that's somebody else. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I'd like to start out by telling you a little bit about our school. If you guys know where Herculaneum is, we're just a little bit south of St. Louis, about 50 miles. We're in Jefferson County. We have about 420 students at the high school, which is where I teach. It's about 10% minority, about 83% low income. We have a lot of generational poverty. We have an 89% graduation rate. Only about 14% pursue a four-year college. A lot of dropout rate from that. We have about 51% a two-year or vocational college. Right now we have about a 21 to ratio with about 26 students. The town of Herculaneum, it's kind of cool. It sits right along the Mississippi River. Unfortunately, just behind our football field is a lead smelting plant. The plant's been decommissioned now, but it's really left a lot of scars, really huge scars. You see signs like this noting lead concentrations in the streets and around the town, kind of watch out, don't go there type of thing. Where there used to be homes and businesses, now you see kind of on the bottom left or right there, a black metal fence. And that just kind of warns the kids around here, you don't walk there, you don't go beyond those fences. So in the past 7 years that I've worked at Herculaneum, there hasn't been a lot that's changed. Not a lot of new businesses, not a lot of new families moving into the area. So I kind of tell you all this to kind of set the scene, so to speak, for the town and the school that I kind of walked into for the past 7 years ago when I came here as a teacher. Whoops. So one of my passions has always been ecology and the environment, and I brought that passion when I came to Herculaneum. I wanted to share that with 120 students that were going to come to my class every day. So I'm like, let's start an eco club. This is going to be great. My kids are going to love it. We got the Mississippi River here. We can walk to the school. We've got areas that are just begging to be planted with wildflowers. And wow, we could even plant flowers that take lead out of the ground. So I'm so excited. We could get tons of staff involved. Everybody is going to love this. There's so many things that we can do. Unlike some of the other schools that you guys may have, or even Tracy's school, we didn't have anything. We weren't even recycling. So this was so exciting to me. We were a blank slate with endless opportunities to be green. So I'm so excited, but what happened? Well, I held my first ecology meeting. I had snacks and everything. 3 students showed up. One had a detention with another teacher. The teacher wanted to leave, so he's like, hey, just go sit in that meeting. Another guy came just for the snacks, and one girl, well, she was actually interested. So 1 out of 3, yeah, I guess that wasn't too bad. So I thought maybe it's too soon to actually start an ecology club. In fact, most of the kids I found out didn't even know what going green meant. In fact, most of the kids didn't even realize our Mississippi River, which is just so close to the school, it went to the ocean. So plan B. I decided to take all my ideas to the classroom. After all, I had 120 kids and they had to sit there for 50 minutes every day. So I was sure once I told them all the cool things that they could do, they would get so excited and they would want to take action and they would do this. But this is what I got. They would say, what's the big deal with all this? What does it mean to me? There's nothing I can do about it. I don't care. Stuff doesn't really affect me. It's not real anyways. So I got apathy and lots of it. But I know students can be apathetic for a number of reasons. So it was time for Plan C. I wasn't ready to give up. Plan C didn't involve me taking charge or telling all my students about my great ideas. Plan B started with a question of why. Why? So in 2016, our journey to become green began, and I kind of summarized it in these 10 milestones. Why? And it started with a question of why. Oops. Why are they not motivated? Why are the kids not motivated? Why do they not understand? Why do we not know what we should do this? And this was by far the most important step. Instead of me telling the kids, I was able to guide my students to the discovery and the issues, and they came up with these reasons on their own. We want to have better human health in our community. We want to protect our ecosystems, our river areas, our natural resource. We want to think about climate change and our economic growth in our town and how to pave the way for future generations. So maybe we don't have that generational poverty. So these are the things the kids came up with on their own. The next thing was to get the students to start to make connections, find out what they're interested in, and discover what's important to them, what real life topics. So kids were interested in fishing, and kids were interested in the health issues with the lead. So we talked about things like our river. We talked about there's mercury in the rivers around here. There's trash in the rivers. So we talked about a lot of these things. They're spraying insecticides all over the place. Now that I had their interest, it was time to get them involved. I started with small things that I knew the kids would really have a lot of fun doing. So we actually completed the Green School Quest. And one of the things we did was a really cool upcycle fair. Kids took things that, they found in the trash or that normally would be thrown away or not used anymore, and they upcycled them. And we had a really great upcycle fair. The community was involved. The kids got to present some of their projects. So it's really cool. We also started a garden during study hall. Kids, they didn't want to sit in study hall, so we went out and started a garden. You can kind of see the picture on the right. The kids are kind of starting a native garden there. And then we even walked down to the river and picked up trash. We even fished for Asian carp in the river. That's an invasive species, as you all know. And we took it back and learned how to prepare it so we can do something even about Asian species. So now word's getting around, this eco club stuff, this eco green stuff, that's pretty cool. So the kids are talking about, hey, guess what we did? So they're getting pretty proud of their results. So now we're getting pretty popular. Whoops, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. So now it's really time to challenge the students, empower them to come up with their ideas. And boy, did they come up with some great ones. We did some hydroponic gardenings. We took all the styrofoam plates that we were using for our school. We used compostable plates. We planted more gardens. Instead of using the individual cereal boxes, one of the girls came up with, what if we had a cereal dispenser? We did things with posted these no dumping in the drains, and we started a compost pile. So as my students learn more and more, we experienced some failures and successes. Some of the failures were the compost. We at first didn't really know how to do it. We were getting a lot of animals in there, but students came with both ideas to kind of conquer this. So it was great that they got these opportunities. We had students from all walks of life, the smart ones, the kids that are into sports, the kids that are not into sports. All projects gave students an opportunity for leadership and ownership. And we brought kids together that probably never would have gotten together. And here's a group of kids that decided to have a Christmas event where they gave out compostable coloring books, and if somebody brought something to recycle. So that was kind of fun. So now there's a lot of excitement around the Green Fair, and now we're deciding we need to come up with a green team. So we got all kinds of people involved, staff, teachers, administration, all those things, all those people Leslie and Hope were talking about. Some of the people, you know, were like, this is going to be more work. But as they saw the projects and they saw the excitement, everybody really wanted to get on board. So it was a lot of fun. We always took the opportunity to celebrate. When something would happen, we would make a big deal of it. We posted on our website and social media and the communication, and we even got cool little green t-shirts. So it was a big thing to celebrate. I mean, just like we celebrate sports and other things, this was a really cool thing for our school to celebrate. Throughout this process, oh gosh, I am so sorry. It's just not working. Sorry. Throughout this process, we could make sure we collect data. We would look at our data. Is it really giving us the results we wanted? We would discuss the data with our green team and also make any other challenges or any changes that we need to. So what happened? Well, we became a green ribbon school. We completed the Green Quest, and we are so proud of ourselves that a school that went from just being a small school with a lot of poverty, with students just really not even knowing what green was, we completed a lot of it. So the part of this program is, you know, how can truly every school can be a green school? Truly every school can be a green school. Now, 3 years later, you know, our journey is still continuing. We're still doing projects. Last year was a little bit slow year with COVID, but we're still continuing. The kids have lots of great ideas that we're starting this year. There's already so much excitement. We have people just coming to me every day. I want to do this. We want to do this. So I kind of put this to kind of summarize it. You know, it's said that something as small as a flutter of a butterfly can really change the world. And I think that's what happened in our case. We had a small little thing and it turned out to be something amazing from our school. So thank you, everyone. I will stop sharing my screen and turn this back to Hope to kind of wrap up here.
All right. Thanks so much, Erin. Another amazing story. Of course, every school's journey is unique, but we do see a lot of commonality as well. I loved hearing what you said about, well, so much is coming to mind of what I loved about what you said, but one thing that stood out was as you built your green team, as you engaged additional roles and individuals more widespread within the school, how at first I thought, oh no, this is going to be extra work, more work. but it's actually energizing. It really is energizing. And I think that hopefully just hearing these stories, seeing what has happened in relatively short periods of time from these different schools, and listening to those student videos, it's just it like gives you a little chill of excitement. And